Hi there, I'm Trebor Scholz. I'm speaking to you at the New School, where I run the platform Cooperativism Consortium. We are here in New York City. And so greeting to you to Montevideo in Uruguay. And I'm excited to speak to Incubacoop and your gathering there today. So I want to tell you just in about, I was asked to speak about 10 minutes, so I just can only give you a little glimpse of what we are doing here. So I, just as a bit of background, so my name is Trebor Scholz. I'm a professor here at the New School and worked on digital labor for the past 10 years. So, I looked at how people work online, crowdsourcing, and I wrote books on that, etc. And then about 5 years ago, I made a proposal that was quite consequential. I suggested to bring the cooperative economic model to the digital economy. So in other words, what would it be like if Uber drivers would own the platform and run it as a cooperative, right? What would it be like if something like Airbnb would be run by cities and owned by cities? And residents for that matter, right? What would it be like if businesses startups would actually aim for businesses that are made for human needs rather than the imagined needs of middle-class engineers in their bubble in Silicon Valley, right? So since then, we basically thought about how to bring this sort of 200 years of best practices and insights and business experience, the 200 years of co-op experience to the digital economy, and also make sure that the cooperative model is really part of a discussion about the future of work, and understood that this is really an important intervention in the discussion around the future of work. So over the last 5 years, about over the last 3 years, around 250 businesses emerged in this ecosystem of platform cooperativism. And I know this is a bit hard to pronounce, and I will try to explain what I mean by that. So platform cooperativism is based on digital platforms and cooperativism, and basically it is about the integration of cooperatives in the digital economy, building a cooperative digital economy, right? Platform cooperativism is based on 4 pillars, and the 4 pillars really are democratic governance, which means that everybody has a say in how to run, all stakeholders have a say in how to run these platforms. Then second, broad ownership, so this could mean workers, but also users of the platforms, co-own these platforms. Then open source, so that co-ops don't reinvent the wheel over and over again, but rather find reciprocity licenses, for example, like the Creative Commons CC+ license, that allows co-ops to license software only to other cooperatives, right? So avoiding the danger of, let's say, some big business coming along and creating a competitor. And lastly, it's based on co-design. So in distinction to Silicon Valley, which offers this sort of waterfall design, right? Like where some genius designer rolls out a software to millions of people. Here it's really the people that are also on the edges of society, people with disability, or people that are somehow falling outside of the norm, are also part of the design of this platform. So let me give you a few examples. Let's start by going to Canada. In Canada, there's a platform for stock photography. It's called Stocksy United. And Stocksy United has about 1,000 photographers that are all selling their photos on this platform. It is harder to get into this cooperative than it is to get into Harvard University, so it's very selective. They made over $11 million last year. Then there are, taxi cooperatives. I just met with 45 leaders of the taxi cooperatives from Brazil, thinking about how to build a taxi cooperative platform for all of Brazil. So maybe this could be interesting in Uruguay as well. And then there's in Switzerland, you can look at examples where co-ops work on cooperative data ownership, right? So thinking about how to make patient data cooperatively owned. That's another example. Yet another example, quite different. You see there in all kinds of different sectors, right? Another sector is core staffing, which is cooperative, a platform co-op that focuses on people who have been previously incarcerated. This is over 600,000 people in the United States. And they, come out of prison and have a hard time finding good jobs. And so this co-op is trying to help them. I talked about the taxi cooperatives, which also already exist, right? Taxi platform co-ops. In Denver, you have Green Taxi. In Italy, you have 5,000 drivers using Cotabo already for a long time, running on an app as well. So, and the examples go on and on. If you go to our website, platform.coop, you find a directory. And in that directory, you can also find many different examples. In the About section on the website, you will also find a Spanish version that introduces you to platform cooperativism, and also has an infographic on the right that you can download and actually see more examples and also explanations for this work. So I think this is a good introduction. If you want longer versions of a real talk, I only was given 10 minutes. I would recommend you go on YouTube and search for my name. We also have several books out, Überworked and Underpaid, and Hours to Hack and to Own. So if you want to read it in English, you can do that. There are some Spanish versions as well. If you look on the website, you can find some essays on platform cooperativism in Spanish. So thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to Incubacoop. I hope to have the opportunity one day to come to Uruguay. This was always a dream of mine, to come to Montevideo. And always had this dream of moving to Uruguay, so maybe one day this will become true. Thank you so much, and be in touch. We are currently working on a $1 million project to allow cooperatives to join the platform co-op economy, and maybe we can work with some of you to make that happen. So write us at info@platform.coop, and we can introduce you to the process and the work we are doing there. Thank you so much.